Alright, Playboys, we are back. We got a new banner here for Faye. I believe this is supposed to be the midpoint banner. Okay, we're starting things off with a rearmed hero. I'm expecting there's probably going to be a mythic hero all the way at the end. Oh, okay, so we're starting off with Noire here, a rearmed version of her. This is the first time we're getting her base version added to the game, so it seems like it's a child banner from Awakening. So we have here a red bow infantry for her. First bow rearmed weapon in a while, since like Tana and Alchrist. We saw her stats there for a moment. Let's see here, 38 HP. Looks like she's getting +6 attack from somewhere, or even +4. I believe Olivia had Hone attack. So let's say 60 attack, 49 speed, 35 defense, 28 res. Arcane Hexbow, looks like she's got some brand new version of Hexblade there. We got Speed Taker, Curve Shot. Alright, Noire, let's see what you're cooking. Arcane Hexbow, 14 might, 2 range, effective against Flyer, -1 special trigger. At the start of turn, if unit's HP is over 25%, inflicts Discord on the closest foe and any foes in 2 spaces of that foe. Also, at the start of combat, if unit's HP is over 25%, grants a bonus to all stats equal to 25% of attack at the start of combat -4, with a max of 14 and a min of 5. Deals damage equal to 15% of units' attack, including on AoEs. Pretty good for bows. And then also reduce damage from foes' first attack by 7, including on their brave attack, and grants -1 special cooldown to unit before unit's first attack during combat. So all very good. Actually could be even better with that new special from... Man, I can't even remember the name of the special or the unit who came with it, but it was like that new tome special. I think it was Julia, the duo Julia from the previous banner. What was it? Like something moon? Frost moon? Not frost moon, but like some kind of moon. Basically, it's a non-pierceable DR special that can be applicable to units that have high res, and there are quite a few bow units that actually have really good res. Okay, so then A skill, attack and speed Hex Edge. New A skill here. Looks like Anathema is in the icon there. At start of turn, if unit is in 3 spaces of a magic, staff, or dragon ally, grants Anathema to unit for 1 turn. And if Anathema is active on unit, grants attack and speed up 7 to unit, deals +5 damage, and reduce percentage of foes' non-special DR by half. Okay, that's a lot going on for an A-slot passive there, right? So Anathema is a pretty good status effect, but it's mainly you're getting a lot of benefit from it when you're giving it to a lot of allies. So if you have multiple people with it, it ends up being a lot of debuffs you can do to the enemies. Here you're only giving it to yourself though, but for an A-slot passive, I guess that's good enough. Then you're getting attack and speed of 7, the +5 damage, and cutting of DR. Yeah, see, it seems pretty good for an A skill. I'm liking that. Alright, then we have Speed Taker once again, and then Blood and Thunder, a very famous crit quote from Noire. For foes in 3 spaces, or 3 rows of 3 columns centered on unit, inflicts all stats -5, and foes suffer +10 damage during combat. Okay, so this is the same thing as the duo, who was it? Plumeria, I believe, from that one instance where she's paired up with Olivia, those 2 dancers there. They do this as well. Alright, then also those foes cannot recover HP during or after combat with an effect such as Feud or when an effect such as Feud is triggered for allies excluding unit. That effect will also neutralize this skill's cannot recover HP after combat effect on their foes. So Feud is a way to turn this off, of course. It turns off all effects of non-combative opponents. So that would work out here, but foes cannot recover HP during or after combat. That does not sound like it would fall into the blanket of what is it again? Fatal Smoke. So, or Deep Wounds, I guess is the name of the status. That does not sound like that would be included here. So, does this work against Breath of Life 4 effects that are like, okay, you still recover HP, you cut the effect of Deep Wounds in half? This is not Deep Wounds. And this is not exposure either. The +10 damage, these are like just drive effects. So I would have to imagine this would turn off healing of everything, like including Divine Nectar and Breath of Life 4 and Imbue now, I guess, from Burger King. And then if Anathema is active on unit or if the unit initiates combat, reduce damage from attacks by 60%, excluding on AoEs. Reduce damage from attacks by an additional 9, excluding AoEs. And then neutralize foes' bonuses, effects that guarantee foes' follow-up attacks, and effects that prevent units' follow-up attacks during combat, and recovers 7 HP after combat. Okay, then also if Anathema is active on unit, or if unit initiates combat and a penalty is active on the foe, foe cannot trigger specials during combat. Wow. Who would have thought Noire would have been doing all of this? This is like premium character level stuff. Alright, little old Noire over there. I mean, sure. Right, I guess we'll take it. And here we are. We gotta love this. They always showcase the units against characters from a previous meta. Like this Halloween Nagi over here. She was great when she came out, but she's not like one of the tier 0 or tier 1 armor type units at the moment. Alright, so I guess we're going for a dance there for some reason. I wonder what the significance is of that. Just to have her initiate combat more than once. Or here, I guess they wanted to show her tank Bernie, because she has Vantage. I don't know, seems strange, right? Like, what was the purpose of all that? Did we really need to see her attack again? Okay, so new heroes join the battle. Who do we got here? Another female Griema? What? Don't we already have... Well, I mean, this one has way doper art than the other one. But it's like they're trying to erase legendary female Griema from even existing. Because this is literally the exact same thing. Okay, we have colorless dragon armor type for Griema here. Well, actually, the other one is called Robin. This one is called Griema. So, I guess they can go ahead and pull some shenanigans like that now. I like her wings, though. That's pretty fire. And, like, the horns coming out. Okay, Despairing Breath, 16 might, 1 range, grants res up 3. If the foe has a ranged weapon, then adaptive damage. At start of player phase or enemy phase, if unit's HP is over 25%, grants Rally Spectrum, and foe cannot make a follow-up attack to unit and allies within 2 spaces for 1 turn. Rally Spectrum's still one of the better status effects. Alright, then also if foe initiates combat, or if unit's HP is over 25% at the start of combat, inflicts a penalty on the foe's attack, defense, and res, equal to the number of foes in 3 rows of 3 columns, center on unit times 3 plus 5, with a max of 14, and then if you trigger save, it's always 14. Deals damage equal to 20% of res, reduce damage from foes' attacks by 20% of res, and inflicts special cooldown count -1 on foe per attack. Alright, so guard, and then recover 7 HP after combat. Armored Glacier. Okay, new armor skill here. Boost damage by 40% of unit's res when special triggers, and if the foe's range is 1, and unit or foe's special is ready or triggered before or during this combat, reduce damage from foe's next attack by 40% once per combat. Yeah, so this is basically just Armored Blaze, except checking for res instead of defense. Which is funny, because we actually did not have a version of that yet. So here we go. Alright, then we also have Def Res Scowl 4, Wily Fighter 4, and then Attack Res Briar Near Save. So finally we've got a Briar Near Save skill. I would have preferred a different stat combo than Attack and Res, though. Like maybe Defense and Res, or... I guess Attack and Res is fine. I don't know. I feel like for Near Save, Attack and Defense or Defense and Res would probably be better. But, sure. And then it's basically the same exact thing as all the Briar skills. So, yeah, pretty good passive. Alright, here we are up against Tamara, who is doing absolutely nothing. Now, Tamara gets all her damage from Sandstorms, so that's understandable. She didn't even get one shot at either. That was a 2-hit there. Alright, not the most impressive display. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Dude, they are creatively bankrupt. If they had to do this again... Didn't we just get the Fallen banner with both Fallen Aleers? Now we have this banner here with 2 Fallen Griemas again. Like, here, have Fallen Robin 1 and 2 after we just gave you Fallen Aleer 1 and 2. Bro. Like, there's so many other child characters they could have did from Awakening, right? Like, isn't there still a child character from Awakening that's not in the game yet? I feel like there might be, but I don't know, man. But still, even then, we could have gotten different versions. Like Jerome, for example. He's pretty cool, but he's not particularly great. Or like Cynthia, for example. Cynthia would have been pretty cool. Alright, Blue, Dragon Breath, Armor type. Artwork is pretty good, except his face is kind of weird. Oh, he's a... Wait, okay, hold on. He's a demote, so... this guy is probably better than Legacy Medius, if that's the case, considering the fact that he's armor and Medius was infantry. This could be like a better version of Marnie. Hold on. Okay, I recant everything I said negative about him. Obstinate Breath plus... Oh, he doesn't have a preference weapon? That sucks. Okay, so he's probably about as good as Legacy Medius then, I guess, but... Let's see here. 14 might, 1 range. Adaptive damage against range, and then at the start of combat, if unit's HP is over 25%, grants all stats of 5 to unit, reduce damage from foe's first attack by 15% of unit's attack, including on their brave attack, and then inflicts guard on the foe per attack. I mean, it's... this is, like, comparable to a previous gen arcane weapon. I think the arcane weapon from Nell is probably better than this, and maybe even the one from Fallen Lumera. But I haven't looked at that weapon in a while, though. But, I mean, this is about as good as, like, one of the old-school arcane weapons. So I guess it's fine for a fodder weapon there. All right, then we have Glacies, Attack Res Scowl 3, and Slick Fighter. Ooh, that's a juicy one to get in the standard pool. Yeah, because the only way... Like, the amount of characters that have Slick Fighter and Wily Fighter are very few. It's, like... Pretty much, for Wily Fighter, I think is just the Ascended Idune and basically Arcane Hector. Or Attuned Hector. And then for Wily Fighter, it's just the Needhoggers and maybe like one other character that I can't even remember. I think it was like Halloween Deginsia or something. So, yeah, considering the Tier 4 versions of those skills are very good, it's nice to get the 3-star skill in the pool. Alright, and then finally, our attuned hero is Tharja, none other than Tharja. Dressed up kind of like Noire there. That's interesting. We haven't seen something like that yet, where the parent is dressing like the child. I guess that's acceptable, but I don't know. Was Tharja deserving of getting an attuned alt? I don't know. That's up to your judgment, not mine. But okay, so Mommy Wami Tharja. Looking like a green tome flyer here. With Japanese voice acting for the time being. Up until they ever settle on whatever their discrepancies were with that. Alright, stats over here. We got 35 HP, 67 attack, 50... Wow. That's a lot. She must be having some kind of visible boost on something. Yeah, 56 speed, 25 defense, 51 res. Yeah, something... One of her passives is giving her visible stats, because that's impossible. There's no way she's got that much. Okay, Kindred Tome, 14 might, 2 range, -1 special trigger. For allies on the map with Anathema active and allies in 3 spaces a unit, grants attack and speed of 5, neutralize penalties to attack and speed, and ally deals +7 damage. Okay, that is very good. If she has a passive that gives Anathema to all allies in 2 spaces, this is cracked. Okay, also, if unit initiates combat or is in 3 spaces of an ally, grants a bonus to all stats equal to the number of allies in 3 rows or 3 columns, center on unit times 3 + 5, with a max of 14. That is way too many words to just say all stats of 14. Alright, then also neutralize penalties to attack and speed. Unit deals +X times 5 damage. And reduce damage from foes' attacks by X times 3. X is the number of bonuses on unit and penalties on foe, pretty much. So, Ninja Lucina's true damage and true DR effect. Also, neutralize effects that guarantee foes' follow-ups, and reduce the percentage of foes' non-special DR by half, and recover 7 HP after combat. Okay, Ice Wall. That was the name of the thing that I couldn't remember previously. Yeah, this is really good to have on an attuned hero. Much better getting it on Tharja than it was on Julia, because you'll actually be able to fodder her and keep her copy. Alright, then we have Already Dead here. So, grants all stats up 9 visible. At start player phase or enemy phase, if unit is in 3 spaces of an ally, grants Anathema and Charge to unit and allies in 3 spaces. Okay. Alright, yeah, she's looking really good then. If she's giving that... I mean, Anathema by itself is already a very good status. And then she's giving allies buffs if they have it. Yeah, that's pretty damn good. Okay, also, if unit initiates combat or is in 3 spaces of an ally, grants special cooldown count -X to unit before unit's first attack. Reduce damage from foes' attacks by X times 20%. And reduce damage from attacks by an additional X times 3 during combat. And also, if X is greater than or equal to 2, then the foe cannot trigger special. Wow. They are going crazy with this effect now. So, Noire's got it, now Tharja's got it, and we had other characters who had it, like the Lakche from the previous banner, and then we had Legendary Ira, of course, and Attuned Alm, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, they are going nuts with this now, which I expected them to do. Alright, excluding AoEs, and then X is the number of allies on the map with Anathema with a max of 3, which is easy to do because she's doing it to allies within 3 spaces, which is nuts. Speed and Res Havoc, very good B skill. The Havoc B skills are actually pretty cracked, so that's really good that she's got that. And then Deadly Miasma, and her new Echo skill is Crux Echo. Inflicts all stats -3 on foes in 3 rows or 3 columns centered on unit. And those foes suffer guaranteed follow-ups. So that's a pretty strong Echo skill. I still think I prefer Soaring Echo, though, for these flyers. But it's nice to get some stat drops, though. Like, if you've got multiple characters on the map that have that, it's just going to pile up on how much stat drops you can do. Alright, so here we're up against Winter Alir, another unit from a previous meta. He's still pretty good, though, overall. He's not, like, completely fallen off. And then he does have his Miracle, so he... I mean, normally he would have died, but he's got Miracle, so he was able to tank that first shot there. I like how her animation there on her weapon was a bunch of arrows, which, again, is playing up to Noire there. Oh, who is this? Mommy. Heimdall. Okay, so, I mean, I know Heimdall from the MCU. That he was like the black dude that was in charge of the Bifrost. I mean, they kept the skin color, right? So she's kind of dark skinned there. I don't know if I would say black, but that's like... Oh, and now we have Odin as well. Alphador. Well, I guess here he's called Alphador, but Odin, right? That's basically Odin. Okay, so we're getting some art here. And who is this? Oh, this must be the GHB, right? This guy is probably a boss from Awakening who, at the current moment, I cannot recall who that is. Red Tome Infantry, though. I'm kind of disappointed with the double Robins again. Like, I wouldn't have been as mad about it if we didn't just come off of the banner, the Fallen banner, with 2 Alirs, but doing this 2 banners in a row seems like a cop-out. Like, for real, are they that creatively bankrupt that they couldn't come up with somebody else? Alright, just one moment. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the inheritances for the new passives, and then we'll go ahead and hop out of here. And by the way, we're also getting the data mines in just a moment, so stick around for that. Okay, so here we go. Speed and Res Havoc is for armor and or it can't be used by armor and cavalry. Crux Echo is for flyers only. Attack and Speed Hex Edge is for infantry. Infantry melee only, looks like. Well, not infantry melee. Infantry physical only. Because tomes and staffs are in there, but bows and daggers will be able to get it. Alright, and then Armored Glacier is for armor only, and staffs can't get it. And then Briar Near Save is basically for armors only, which, I mean, none of that is new information. So yeah, there we go, guys. We're going to hop out of here now, and then we're going to head over to the subreddit and wait for the refines. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. This is your boy Tharja signing out, and I will catch y'all again in just a moment.